Admiral Quante stood in the center of the Galactic Council chamber and felt every alien eye watching him. The chamber was huge, built inside a space station that orbited a planet called Viridium Prime. 47 different alien species sat in curved rows above him, looking down like judges at a trial. He was old now, with gray hair and tired eyes, but he stood straight. Next to him was Captain Hei Rin, a young woman with sharp eyes who carried a datapad. On his other side stood Ambassador Yunde, Earth's chief negotiator. Yunde was the one who had to do most of the talking today. The Crethian ambassador rose from his seat. The Crethians were tall, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. They controlled the largest military in the galaxy, or so everyone believed. The Crethian's voice boomed across the chamber. Humans, you have been given a great honor. The Crethian Empire offers you protection. Give us control of your colony worlds. Bow to our emperor. In return, we will not destroy you. Laughter echoed through the chamber. Not all species laughed, but many did. Humans were seen as weak. They had only been in space for 50 years. In all that time, they had shown only 12 ships to the rest of the galaxy. 12 small, old-looking ships. The aliens thought Earth had barely left its own solar system. Ambassador Yunde smiled politely. We thank the Crethian Empire for their offer. But Earth must decline. We wish to remain independent. More laughter. The Crethian ambassador's eyes narrowed. You have 12 ships. We have 30,000. You have 1 star system. We have 400. You think you can stand against us? We think we can stand on our own. Yunde replied calmly. The chamber erupted in noise. Some aliens shouted. Others made clicking or whistling sounds that meant mockery in their languages. The council leader, an ancient creature that looked like a floating jellyfish, raised a tentacle for silence. The Crethian Empire has made a generous offer, the council leader said. Humans should reconsider. Your species is new here. You do not understand how things work in the galaxy. Captain Hei Rin leaned close to Admiral Quante. Sir, they really believe we only have 12 ships, she whispered. Good, Quante whispered back. That means the veil is working perfectly. The Crethian ambassador slammed one of his forefists on his desk. Humans, I give you 30 days. In 30 days, you will surrender your colonies and accept Crethian rule. Or we will take them by force. Our fleet will burn your worlds. This is your only warning. The chamber fell silent. This was a serious threat. The Crethians had destroyed civilizations before. Everyone knew it. The other council members watched the humans, waiting to see fear. But Admiral Quante just smiled. It was a small smile, almost sad. 30 days, he said quietly. Very well. We accept your timeline. You accept? The Crethian sounded surprised. You will surrender? No, Quante said. I accept that you have 30 days to learn the truth. 30 days before you understand what a mistake you have made. The Crethian laughed, a harsh barking sound. Are you threatening us with your 12 ships, old man? Quante looked up at all the aliens watching him. His voice was soft but clear. You have been watching us for 50 years. You have seen only what we wanted you to see. You counted our ships. You measured our worlds. You decided we were weak. He paused. You should have looked harder. Ambassador Yunde tapped his datapad. The meeting is over. Earth's answer is no. We will see you in 30 days. The 3 humans turned and walked toward the exit. Behind them, the chamber burst into conversation. Some aliens laughed. Others argued. The Crethians looked confident, already planning their invasion. As they walked down the long corridor away from the chamber, Captain Hei Rin finally spoke. Admiral, they really think they can defeat us. They have no idea. Quante nodded slowly. 200 years ago, when humans first reached the stars, we found something. Do you know what it was, sir? Ren asked. Ruins, Quante said. We found the ruins of 14 dead civilizations before we ever met a living alien. 14 species that were destroyed. We studied those ruins. We learned why they died. Hyundai finished the thought. They were loud. They were proud. They showed everyone their strength. And when something stronger came along, they had nowhere to hide. So we learned to be quiet, Quante said. We learned to hide. We learned to wait. They reached their ship, a small vessel that looked old and slow. Inside, it was much more than it appeared, but no alien sensors could tell. The three humans sat down as the ship lifted off from the station. Captain Rin looked at her commanding officer. What happens now, sir? Admiral Quante looked out at the stars. Now we send the message. The silence protocol ends in 30 days. After 200 years of hiding, it is time for the galaxy to see who humans really are. And the Krethians? Rin asked. The Krethians are about to learn that the scariest thing in the galaxy is not the enemy who roars, Quante said softly. It is the enemy who has been silent, watching, and preparing. They asked for 30 days. They should have asked for mercy. Their ship jumped to faster than light speed, heading back toward Earth. Behind them, the Galactic Council continued to laugh at the weak humans and their 12 ships. None of them knew that in 30 days, the entire galaxy would change forever. The countdown had begun. Commander Jin Woo sat in a dark room, deep beneath the surface of Earth. The room had no windows because it was 300 meters underground. Inside a mountain in what used to be called Korea, on the wall in front of him, 100 screens showed data streams, star maps, and intelligence reports from across human space. He read the message from Admiral Quante one more time. Council has issued ultimatum. 30 days until conflict. Recommend ending silence protocol. Awaiting authorization. Jinwoo picked up his communicator. Get me Dr. Suhana and General Hyan. Priority Alpha. 10 minutes later, two people entered the room. Dr. Suhana was a small woman with gray hair tied back in a simple style. She had spent 40 years working on something called the Veil Project. General Hyan was a tall man with hard eyes and a chest covered in medals. He commanded all of Earth's military forces, the forces that the galaxy knew nothing about. Show them, Jinwoo said to his assistant. Screens changed. Now they showed the Galactic Council chamber, the moment when the Krethians threatened Earth. General Hyan watched in silence. Dr. Suhana shook her head slowly. They really believe it, she said quietly. They actually think we only have 12 ships. Your Veil project worked perfectly, Jinwoo told her. For 50 years, every alien sensor that looked at human space saw exactly what we wanted them to see. A few small colonies, a handful of ships, a weak new species. Dr. Suhana had helped create the technology that hid humanity's true strength. Quantum dampening fields scattered around every human world made it impossible for alien sensors to see what was really there. When aliens looked at Earth's solar system, they saw old factories and a few space stations. They could not see the massive shipyards, the weapons platforms, or the true size of humanity's fleet. The question is, General Hyan said, do we drop the veil now, or do we wait? Jinwoo pulled up a file on the main screen. It was old, more than 200 years old. The Silence Protocol, established in 2347 after first contact. The story was known to everyone in that room, but Jinwoo told it again anyway. When we first left our solar system, we were excited. We thought we would find friends, allies, peaceful civilizations. Instead, we found graveyards. The screen showed images of dead worlds, planets that had been burned, cities that had been destroyed so long ago that they were just dust now. 14 species, Jinwoo continued. All dead. We studied their ruins. We learned their languages from what they left behind. And we learned what killed them. They were not careful, Dr. Suhana said softly. They built great fleets and showed them off. They expanded quickly and loudly. They made noise in the galaxy. And when something dangerous noticed them, they could not hide. So we made a choice, General Hyan said. We chose to be invisible. We chose to build in secret. Jinwoo nodded. We sent out those 12 ships. Old, slow, weak-looking ships. We made first contact with the Galactic Council and acted like we barely understood faster than light travel. We played dumb. We played weak. And while the galaxy ignored us, we built. The screens changed again. Now they showed maps of human space, the real maps that only humans could see. 473 colony worlds, hidden behind nebulas, inside hollowed-out asteroids, near dead stars where no one would look. Each world had cities, farms, factories. Each world had weapons. How many people? General Hyan asked. 60 billion humans spread across those worlds, Jinwoo answered. All of them know the truth. All of them have been waiting for this day. Dr. Suhana walked closer to the screens. If we drop the veil, every sensor in the galaxy will suddenly see all of this. 473 worlds will appear where aliens thought there was nothing. They will see our real population, our real industry, and our real fleet. General Hyan added. Jinwoo pulled up another file. This one made even him feel a chill. 500,000 dreadnoughts. Each one 4 kilometers long. Each one armed with weapons we reverse-engineered from those dead civilizations and then made better. Plus support ships, fighters, carriers, destroyers. If we count everything, we have 7 million combat vessels. The room was silent for a moment. The number was almost impossible to believe. But humanity had been building for 200 years. Building in secret and hidden shipyards in systems that did not appear on any galactic map. The Krethians have 30,000 ships, Dr. Suhana said. The entire Galactic Council together has maybe 200,000. And they think they are the strong ones. General Hyan smiled, but it was not a happy smile. They gave us 30 days. What do you recommend, Commander? Jinwoo thought carefully. We use all 30 days. We move our fleet into position. We do it slowly, quietly, under stealth. On day 29, we drop the veil. We let him see everything at once. The shock will be significant. And if they attack before then? Dr. Suhana asked. Then we stop hiding early, General Hyan said simply. But I think they will wait. They are too confident. They think this will be easy. Jinwoo sent a message to Admiral Quan Tae, giving him the authorization he requested. Then he sent another message, this one to every hidden human world, every secret base, every ship that waited in the dark. The message was simple. The silence ends in 30 days. Prepare to reveal yourselves. After 200 years of hiding, the galaxy will finally see humanity's true face. Across human space, from colonies hidden in asteroid fields to stations orbiting dead stars, people received the message. Soldiers prepared their weapons. Ship crews ran final checks on vessels that had never fired their guns in combat. Factory workers increased production, just in case. On Earth, in the underground command center, Commander Jinwoo watched it all on his screens. 200 years ago, humans had made a choice. They chose to be patient. They chose to be invisible. They chose to let everyone think they were weak. Now that choice was about to pay off. The galaxy was about to learn that the humans were not weak. They had never been weak. They had just been very, very quiet. And in 30 days, That silence would end with the roar of 500,000 dreadnoughts. Captain Nayuri walked through the corridors of her ship and felt the vibration of the engines through the metal floor. The ship was called Eternal Resolve, and it was her home. It was also 4 kilometers of weapons, armor, and determination built into the shape of a dreadnought. The corridors were wide enough for 4 people to walk side by side. The walls were a dark gray metal, lit by soft blue lights. Her boots made quiet sounds as she walked, checking on her crew. They had been waiting for this moment for years. Some had been waiting their whole lives. She stopped at a window and looked out. Outside, she could not see stars. That was because her ship was inside a hollowed-out dwarf planet, hidden in a system with no name on any galactic map. This place was called the Soul Shipyards, and it was humanity's greatest secret. Captain. A voice spoke behind her. She turned to see Engineer Sumiya, the chief engineer of the entire shipyard facility. Sumiya was older, with hands that were scarred from decades of work. She had helped build 50 of these dreadnoughts herself. Engineer Su, Nayuri said with respect. Is my ship ready? Your ship has been ready for 5 years, Sumiya said with a small smile. We have checked every system 3 times. The quantum dampeners are at full power. Your weapon systems are loaded. Your crew is trained. The Eternal Resolve is ready for war. I hope we do not need to fight, Nayuri said honestly. So do I, Sumiya replied. But if we do, your ship will not fail you. None of our ships will fail. We built them too well for that. Nayuri believed her. The Soul Shipyards had been built 150 years ago, carved out of a dwarf planet in a hidden system. It took 20 years just to hollow out the planet. Then humanity had filled it with construction bays, factories, and forges. For over a century, it had built ships in secret. How many ships do we have now? Nayuri asked, even though she knew the answer. 500,000 dreadnoughts like yours, Sumiya said. Plus 2 million support ships. Carriers, destroyers, frigates, supply vessels, medical ships, troop transports. Everything an armada needs. She looked out the window, and all of it invisible to the galaxy. They stood together in silence for a moment. Then Sumiya spoke again. I was 10 years old when my grandfather told me about the Silence Protocol. He was one of the engineers who helped design these shipyards. He told me that one day, maybe when I was old, humans might need these ships. I am 53 now. I did not think this day would come in my lifetime. Are you afraid? Nayuri asked. No, Sumiya said. I am relieved. We built all of this in secret. We prepared for 200 years. If we never needed it, that would have been good. But if we do need it, I am glad we are ready. Nayuri left the engineer and continued her walk through the ship. She passed the weapons bays, where missiles the size of buildings waited in their launch tubes. She passed the reactor room, where her ship's power core hummed with barely contained energy. She passed the crew quarters, where 1,500 men and women lived and worked. In the Combat Information Center, she found Lieutenant Hanji studying tactical displays. Hanji was young, barely 25 years old. This would be his first real deployment if the fleet actually left the shipyards. Lieutenant, Nayuri said, how are you feeling? Hanji looked up. He tried to look confident, but Nayuri could see the nervousness in his eyes. Ready, Captain, just thinking about what might happen. Nayuri sat down next to him. You have trained for this your whole life. Your parents were military. Your grandparents were military. You know the simulations. You know the tactics. But this is real, Hanji said quietly. The Krethians really threatened us. We might actually have to fight. Yes, Nayuri agreed. We might. But look at this. She pulled up a tactical display. This is our fleet. 500,000 dreadnoughts. Every single one is better armed and better armored than any ship the Krethians have. We have studied their tactics for 50 years. We know their weaknesses. We know their weapon ranges. We know how fast their ships can turn. She zoomed out the display. And they know nothing about us. They think we have 12 old scout ships. They do not know about our real fleet. They do not know about our weapons. They have no idea what is about to happen. Hanji looked at the display. The numbers were overwhelming. We could destroy their entire military in an hour, he said, sounding amazed. We could, Mayuri agreed. But we will not. We are not conquerors. We are defenders. We will show them our strength so they understand they cannot threaten us. But we will not destroy them unless we have no choice. Across the shipyard, similar conversations were happening on 500,000 ships. Captains talked to their crews. Engineers ran final checks. Soldiers prepared their equipment. Everyone knew what was coming. In the command center of the shipyard, Fleet Admiral Yoon watched it all on massive displays. He was responsible for the entire armada. He had spent 30 years preparing for a war that might never come. Now it looked like it would come after all. An aide approached him. Admiral, we have received the authorization. The silence protocol ends in 27 days. Yoon nodded. Send the mobilization order. All ships are to prepare for deployment. We move to our staging positions in 20 days. We stay under stealth until day 29. On day 29, we drop the veil and show the galaxy who we really are. The order went out across the fleet. 500,000 dreadnoughts began their pre-flight checks. Millions of crew members went to their stations. The greatest armada in galactic history prepared to move. Captain Mayuri stood on the bridge of the Eternal Resolve and felt the ship come to life around her. The engines powered up. The weapon systems activated. The shields charged. Her crew moved with practiced efficiency, preparing for launch. Captain, her communications officer said, we have a message from Fleet Admiral Yoon. He wants to speak to all ship commanders. Mayuri nodded. Put it on screen. Yoon's face appeared on the main display. He looked at the camera and threw it at every captain in the fleet. Commanders, our ancestors built these ships in silence. They built them in hope that we would never need them. But they built them well, because they knew that if the day came, we would need to be ready. He paused. That day has come. In 27 days, we will show the galaxy the true strength of humanity. We will do it not with pride, but with purpose. We will defend our worlds, our people, and our right to exist free. The silence ends soon. Prepare your ships. Prepare your crews. And remember why we built all of this. We built it to protect what we love. The message ended. On the Eternal Resolve, and on 500,000 other ships, crews worked with renewed determination. The countdown had begun. The galaxy's biggest surprise was about to be revealed. Day 29 arrived. Admiral Quan Te stood on the bridge of a command ship just outside Earth's solar system. Around him, his officers worked quietly at their stations. On the main screen, he could see the Krethian fleet gathering at the edge of human space. 30,000 Krethian warships hung in space like a dark cloud. They were arranged in attack formations, ready to invade. Their weapons were armed. Their shields were up. They looked like they owned the galaxy. The Krethian fleet commander had sent a message an hour ago. Humans, your time is up. Surrender now or be destroyed. Ambassador Yunde stood next to Quan Te on the bridge. They really believe they will win easily, Yunde said. They are not stupid, Quan Te replied. They are just ignorant. There's a difference. They do not know what they do not know. Captain Harin checked their console. Sir, all human ships are in position. 500,000 dreadnoughts are in stealth formation around the Krethian fleet. They are completely surrounded, and they do not even know it. Quante nodded. And the Galactic Council? Watching, Hayrin said. Half the council has ships in the area. They came to watch the Krethians destroy us. They are going to see something very different. Quante looked at the Krethian fleet one more time. Then he looked at Yunde. Ambassador, you have the floor. Say what needs to be said. Yunde activated the communication system. His message would go to the Krethian fleet, to the Galactic Council, and to every listening post in this part of space. His voice was calm and clear. Krethian Empire. Galactic Council. You gave us 30 days to prepare our surrender. We used those 30 days differently. We used them to prepare the truth. He paused. For 50 years, you have watched us. You counted our ships. You measured our worlds. You decided we were weak. You were wrong. On the Krethian flagship, the fleet commander laughed. More human lies. We see your 12 ships. We see your one solar system. You have nothing. You see what we wanted you to see, Yunde said. For 200 years, we have hidden our true strength. We learned from the civilizations that came before us. We learned that in this galaxy, the proud die young. So we became invisible. We built in secret. We waited. His voice became harder. We gave you 200 years to learn who we are. You chose not to. That was your mistake. Yunde nodded to Captain Hayrin. Drop the veil. Across all of human space, quantum dampening fields shut down simultaneously. In an instant, what had been invisible became visible. 473 colony worlds appeared on every scanner in the galaxy. Massive orbital stations appeared around planets that aliens thought were empty. Weapons platforms that had been hidden for decades suddenly showed up on sensors. And around the Krethian fleet, 500,000 dreadnoughts dropped their stealth at the same moment. On the Krethian flagship, alarms screamed. Sensor operators shouted in confusion. The fleet commander stared at his screens in disbelief. Where there had been empty space seconds ago, there were now ships. Thousands of ships. Hundreds of thousands of ships. Each one was 4 kilometers long, bristling with weapons, and they had the Krethian fleet completely surrounded. Impossible, the Krethian commander whispered. This is impossible. Fleet Admiral Yoon sat on the bridge of his flagship and watched the Krethian fleet panic. He had waited 30 years for this moment. He felt no joy in it, but he felt satisfaction. The plan had worked perfectly. All ships, maintain formation, honored. Do not fire unless I give the command. Let them see. Let them count. Let them understand. The human fleet formed a perfect sphere around the Krethians. 100 human ships for every Krethian ship. The numbers were overwhelming. But you knew numbers were only part of the message. Captain Nayuri, he said into his communicator, your ship has the honor. Fire the warning shot. On the Eternal Resolve, Captain Nayuri received the order. Target the third moon of the system, she told her weapons officer. No life, no resources, just rock. Fire one main cannon at full power. The Dreadnought's main weapon charged. It was a weapon reverse-engineered from an ancient alien wreck and improved by human scientists. It used focused quantum energy to tear apart the bonds between atoms. It had never been fired in combat before. Firing, the weapons officer said, a beam of pure white light shot from the Eternal Resolve. It crossed the distance to the moon in 2 seconds. When it hit, the moon simply ceased to exist. One moment there was a rocky moon orbiting a gas giant. The next moment there was expanding dust and gas dot on the Krethian flagship. Every sensor recorded what happened. The commander's face went pale. A single shot. They destroyed a moon with a single shot. And they have 500,000 of those ships. his tactical officer said quietly. Admiral Quante watched the Crethian fleet from his command ship. He opened a communication channel directly to the Crethian commander. "This is Admiral Quante of the Terran Defense Fleet. You threatened to burn our worlds. You said you would destroy us. You gave us 30 days to surrender." The Crethian commander's face appeared on the screen. He looked shaken. "How? How did you hide all of this?" "We learned from the species that came before us," Quante said. "We learned that survival is more important than pride. We learned that the strong do not always roar. Sometimes the strong stay silent and wait." He leaned forward. "You are surrounded. You are outgunned 100 to 1. Every ship you have is in our weapon sights. I will give you one chance. One chance only. Turn your fleet around. Leave our space. Tell the Galactic Council what you saw here. Tell them that humans are not weak. Tell them we hid because we were wise, not because we were afraid." The Crethian commander looked at his screens. The numbers did not lie. He was defeated before the battle even started. "And if we refuse?" Quante's face became hard. "Then we will show you what humans do when they must fight. We destroyed an uninhabited moon. Imagine what we will do to your ships if you force us." The Crethian fleet was silent. Around them, 500,000 human dreadnoughts waited. The message was clear. Fight and die, or withdraw and live. The Crethian commander closed his eyes. When he opened them again, his pride was gone. Only survival remained. "We withdraw. The Crethian Empire withdraws." "A wise choice," Quante said. "Your fleet may leave. Tell your emperor what happened here. Tell the entire galaxy. The humans were never weak. We were just quiet." The Crethian fleet turned and began to move away. Slowly at first, then faster. They jumped to faster than light speed and disappeared. They ran. The Galactic Council ships that had come to watch saw everything. Their sensors had recorded it all. 473 hidden worlds. 7 million combat ships. A moon destroyed with one shot. And a fleet of 30,000 Crethian warships running away without firing a single weapon. Ambassador Yunde sent one final message to the Council. "For 200 years, we have been part of your galaxy. We have watched. We have learned. We have prepared. Now you know the truth. Humans are not weak. We never were. The silence protocol is over. From this day forward, the galaxy will see us as we really are. And any species that threatens us will learn what the Crethians learned today. We are defenders, not conquerors. But we will defend what is ours." The message ended. The human fleet began to disperse, returning to their hidden bases. But the galaxy had changed. Everyone now knew the truth about humanity. The quiet species was quiet no more. 3 weeks after the Crethian fleet ran away, Ambassador Yunde stood in the Galactic Council chamber again. But this time, the room was different. The aliens were not laughing. They were not mocking. They were watching him with a mix of fear, respect, and uncertainty. The council leader, the ancient jellyfish-like creature, floated at the center of the chamber. "Ambassador Yunde, the council has many questions. I am here to answer them," Yunde said. Calmly. An ambassador from a species called the Velians stood up. The Velians looked like tall birds with blue feathers. "You lied to us. For 50 years, you pretended to be weak. You hid an armada of 500,000 warships. You concealed hundreds of colony worlds. How can we trust anything you say now?" Yunde nodded. "You are right. We did hide the truth. But we did not lie. You asked how many ships we had in active patrol. We told you 12. That was true. You asked about our known colonies. We told you about the ones we wanted you to know about. That was true. You made assumptions about our total strength. We simply did not correct those assumptions. You deceived us, another council member said. This one was from a species that looked like living crystals. We protected ourselves, Hyundai replied. When humanity first reached the stars, we found the ruins of 14 civilizations. All of them were dead. All of them had been destroyed. We studied those ruins for years. We learned something important. Every single one of those species had announced their strength to the galaxy. They built great fleets and showed them off. They were proud and loud. And when something dangerous noticed them, they had nowhere to hide. The chamber was silent. Many of the council members knew about those dead civilizations. The ruins were old, scattered across the galaxy. We chose a different path, Hyundai continued. We chose to be invisible. We built our strength in secret. We prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. Was this deceptive? Perhaps. But it kept our species alive. The Krethian ambassador was there, looking smaller than before. What do you want from us now? You have the biggest military in the galaxy. You could conquer anyone you wish. We do not want to conquer anyone, Hyundai said firmly. We never did. We built our fleet for defense, not conquest. But the Krethian Empire needs to understand something. You threatened us. You gave us an ultimatum to surrender or be destroyed. That can never happen again. No species should ever demand that another species bow down or face annihilation. He looked around at all the council members. I am here today to propose new terms for the Galactic Council. New rules that will protect all species, not just the strong ones. The council leader gestured for him to continue. Speak, human. First, Hyundai said, no species may demand vassalage from another. No species may threaten to destroy another for refusing to submit. The strong should not be allowed to bully the weak. If the Krethians had succeeded against us, what would have stopped them from threatening someone else next? And the council would have watched it happen. Several council members looked uncomfortable. They knew he was right. The council had been too weak to stop aggressive species before. Second, Hyundai continued, humanity offers our fleet as a defensive force for all council species. If any member of the council is threatened with conquest or destruction, our ships will help defend them. We will not fight wars of conquest. We will not help species attack each other, but we will defend against aggression. This caused surprised whispers throughout the chamber. The humans were offering to be the council's military? For free? Why would you do this? The Velian ambassador asked suspiciously. Because we are tired of hiding, Hyundai said honestly. For 200 years, we built in secret. We prepared in silence. It was lonely. It was isolating. We want to be part of the galactic community, but we want it to be a community worth being part of. A community where strong species protect weak ones instead of conquering them. And third? The council leader asked. Third, we will share our technology with the council. Medical advances, agricultural techniques, industrial methods. We will help all council species improve their lives. He paused. But we will not share weapons technology. We will not help anyone build better weapons. The galaxy has enough weapons already. Admiral Quante entered the chamber and stood next to Hyundai. He was retiring soon, his duty done. But he wanted to speak one more time to the council. I am an old man now, Quante said. I have spent my entire life preparing for war. I helped create the Silence Protocol. I helped build our fleet in secret. I watched and waited for 200 years. He looked tired but satisfied. I did not want war. I wanted peace. But I knew that peace only exists when you are strong enough to defend yourself. The Krethians threatened us because they thought we were weak. They learned we were not. I hope this lesson spreads across the galaxy. The weak can become strong if they are patient enough, smart enough, and willing to prepare. He stepped back. Hyundai continued. The Galactic Council has a choice. You can fear us and treat us as a threat. Or you can work with us and build a better galaxy. We prefer the second option, but we will survive either way. We have proven that. The Council debated for hours. Some species were afraid of human power. Some wanted to ally with humanity immediately. Some were suspicious of human motives. But in the end, they voted. The humans' terms were accepted. The Galactic Council would have new rules. No more forced vassalage. No more threats of annihilation. And humanity would help defend Council species against aggression. 1 month later, Captain Rin stood on the bridge of a new ship. She had been promoted. Admiral Quante had retired, and Rin was now in command of humanity's exploratory fleets. Not the war fleet, but the ships that would explore the galaxy openly now that the silence was over. Her ship was called New Dawn, and it was nothing like the Dreadnoughts. It was built for exploration, for science, for meeting new species. It had weapons for self-defense, but its main purpose was discovery. "Captain," her science officer said, "we are ready to depart. Where would you like to go first?" Rin smiled. "Somewhere we have never been. Somewhere beyond Council space. Let us see what else is out there." The ship jumped to faster than light speed, heading toward unexplored space. For 200 years, humans had hidden. Now they would explore. Now they would discover. Now they would be themselves. On Earth, in his retirement home, Admiral Quante sat in a garden and watched the stars. He had done his duty. He had kept Earth safe through patience and preparation. The young people like Captain Rin would handle things from now on. But in the back of his mind, he remembered something. When humanity first explored the galaxy, they found 14 dead civilizations. 14 species destroyed by something. They never found out what killed them. The ruins were too old. The evidence was gone. Whatever destroyed those civilizations might still be out there. Beyond Council space. Beyond explored territory. Waiting. 3 months after the confrontation with the Krethians, human deep space monitoring stations detected something. Signals from beyond the galactic rim. Not natural signals. Artificial ones. They were older than anything in Council space. And they were getting stronger. Commander Jin Woo sat in his underground command center and looked at the data. He sent a message to Fleet Admiral Yoon. "Sir, we may have a problem. A big one." Yoon arrived an hour later. Jin Woo showed him the signals. "They are coming from beyond the galaxy. From dark space. We do not know what they are, but they are organized. They are methodical. And they are moving this way." Yoon studied the data carefully. "How long until they reach Council space?" "Unknown. Could be years. Could be decades. Could be centuries," Jinwoo said. "But they are out there. Something big is out there." Yoon nodded slowly. "Then it is good we built our fleet when we did. Humanity spent 200 years preparing for the galaxy. Now the galaxy will need humanity to prepare for what lies beyond." He sent orders to all human military bases. "Keep the fleet ready. Keep building. Keep preparing." The Krethians had been a test. The real challenge might still be coming. In the Galactic Council, Ambassador Hyundai received the same data. He looked at it for a long time. Then he called a special session of the Council. It was time to tell them the truth. The galaxy had bigger problems than territorial disputes and pride. Something was coming from the dark. Something old. Something powerful. And humanity, the species that had prepared in secret for 200 years, would help the galaxy prepare for it. The silence protocol was over. But a new kind of preparation was just beginning. The galaxy had seen humanity's strength. Now they would see humanity's determination. Because whatever was coming from beyond the stars, humanity would be ready. They had learned long ago that survival belongs to those who prepare, not to those who wait. The stars shone bright above Earth. Somewhere out there, beyond the known galaxy, something ancient was stirring. But humanity had survived by being patient, by being careful, by being ready. They would face this new challenge the same way they faced everything else. Together, prepared, and unafraid. The story of humanity's silence was over. The story of what came next was just beginning.